The final score, Wrexham 1, Rotherham United 0. Very satisfying result, not least because a lot of the teams around us drew or lost. So it was another one of those weekends where you feel you made a bit of progress. It wasn't a pretty game. Who cares? The result's what matters. If we were to get promoted, there's no point in being pretty and drawing or losing. This was a big, big win and a big performance in so many ways, as I'll explain now. But yeah, we're now level with Wycombe, only behind them on goal difference. Big week coming up, of course, where we are away to Reading on Tuesday and then away to Wycombe on Saturday. Gosh, this is what you're a football fan for, this sort of week. Anyway, the Wrexham team, just the one change. Predictable, Elliot Lee comes in and starts with George Dobson having picked up that injury at Huddersfield. And that meant that on the bench, the only alteration was that George Evans came in. Wrexham up against the Rotherham side, who have had a disappointing season, but nonetheless had just won back-to-back matches and therefore were going to be a difficult proposition, and also managed by Steve Evans, which in many ways makes them inevitably a difficult proposition. I mean, they set themselves up in the classic Evans way, in a way. They were going to be a nightmare to play against. They were going to bite and scratch and contest everything, and rather different from some of the passing possession-based teams you faced in recent weeks. So they're physical, they're big, and space is at a premium. They work very hard when they haven't got the ball. They can contest as all the second balls, and it's really hard to get your passing rhythm going against them. So as a result, yeah, we didn't really look terribly exciting, but it's very, very hard to do that against that set themselves up like that, and set themselves up really well too. And their direct service to their forward line, which is strong, meant that we had to be on the ball. And so that was why Phil Parkinson spoke with such pride about after the game. He's quite right. Defensively, we looked very solid against a side which was looking to ask us questions. And when we had the ball, well, we showed discipline. You know, we were able to wind them down in the end and vary our play when it was difficult to create against them. There was not much to report in the first half in terms of goal-mouth incident. Rotherham, like I said, were balls. They were stepping up the pitch. They were pressuring us. They were knocking those long balls. We were spending more time deep in our half than we wanted to. And it was therefore hard for us to get a foothold, to get possession in the other side's half, and then to get bodies around the ball if we had possession in the other side's half. The first real chance of the match came when it was almost half an hour played. Good work by Sam Smith, who turned and fed a good ball out at left. Seb Revan breaking forwards, drove a pass in invitingly into the 6-yard box across the face of goal. Smith busted a gut, but he just couldn't quite reach it, neither could Rodriguez, and the chance was gone. Revan, playing against the team he played for on loan for all of last season, was really looking eager to make an impression. Smith was looking really good up front, but it was these sorts of breakaways or good use of long balls which were our main outlet. Luckily for us, I thought Smith and Rodriguez combined really well together, and the two of them were both getting plenty of change when long balls came in, so they were beating the centre-backs pretty consistently. Also at the back, like I said, our defence was very good, but Owen O'Connell in particular was terrific, and he would start off the next chance. A really good interception as Mpanza tried to feed the ball forwards. He fed it to Smith, who was deep in his own half. Smith played the right ball to Longman, who come in a bit narrow, and then Smith just went on another lung-busting run in support. Rathbone to the right as well, so Longman, who carried it a long way into Rotherham's half, had good options either way. I think either of them would have been perfectly reasonable options. I'm not saying he should have given it to Rathbone, but he does give it to Smith, who has a clear sight of goal, goes for power inside the box, but doesn't quite manage to find the direction. A sharp parry by Dylan Phillips to repel the ball away to safety. Within a minute, it's Rotherham with an opportunity, and a good opportunity as well. Powell was in midfield, always looking to prompt and create. He picked the ball up on the left and sent in a nasty, inviting cross. O'Connell attacking it, but it could only skim off the top of his head. I wonder whether that made all the difference. It barely altered the flight of the ball. Maybe it just arrived a fraction higher than Wilkes expected it as he arrived unmarked on the edge of the 6-yard box. Looked sure to score, made good contact, Fabulous save by Okonkwo. Massive save. Did so well to make himself big and repel it. And it wasn't the last big save that he would make either, but great work by the Wrexham keeper. We finished off with the last chances of the half, and wow, what a goal this would have been if it had gone in. Longman and Cleworth combining nicely down the right hand side. In the end, the ball's crossed in and headed partly clear, and Matty James, gosh, from the edge of the box, just outside, right channel, he does ever so well to actually take it. The ball's coming at him with a player making a challenge. He does beautifully to kill it, and then rifles a half volley. Fabulous strike. Unluckily for him, a magnificent save by Phillips, who launches himself to his left and gets a strong hand on it to push it behind. So half time, it's 0-0. We are in a game. It's tough. We're having to grit our teeth and grind our way through. But we get that crucial breakthrough 3 minutes into the half. And it's Arthur Okonkwo who gets the ball rolling. A massive goal kick by him. J. Rodriguez backing in. Lovely little touchdown. Perfect flick. And Smith running onto it. Phillips, the keeper, comes out. Smith just beats him to it, and a lovely little toe poke under the keeper into the bottom left corner. Fine, instinctive finish, and he's loving it. On his birthday, he's given Wrexham the lead. We carry on for a while, looking in control, and for a bit it looks like maybe we're going to get the second, or we're going to get into some sort of comfort. But like I said, you can't fault Rotherham's heart. They kept going, kept working, and slowly they started to take control of the second half. They had a strange little instant just before the hour where Wilkes on the right hand side tried a very ambitious attempt from, like I say, width and distance. He was a good 25 yards out, if not more, to sort of rip it over Okonkwo. He doesn't get it right. It's arriving at pace, but straight at Okonkwo, who very coolly decides he's going to take it on his chest and let it drop. The thing is, maybe he just slightly, I don't know if he loses his bearings or not, but he takes it on his chest as he's stepping backwards over the goal line, and the ball drops onto the goal line pretty much and back up, and Okonkwo takes it, but just for a moment it looked like he might have made a really bizarre misjudgment, and we conceded a remarkably strange goal. We keep pushing. In fact, within a minute we have a moment of hope. Smith again winning a good header. Rodriguez up against the last defender, a Dauphin charging across. I mean, it's a real wrestling match by the two of them. I think both of them at some point have holding the other player's shirt. I wouldn't say there's a lot of pulling, mind. I think it's more a contest in terms of strength. And I think the referee takes that attitude, decides, okay, they're both having a little bit of a nibble, both doing the same thing, I'll leave it. But then a Dauphin goes down, and I'm strongly argue he slept. He didn't go down because of anything Rodriguez did. He slips, and Rodriguez would have been completely on his own in the penalty area, up against the keeper. The referee gives the foul, which I can't help feeling is more what referees do when the last defender goes down. You see defenders trying to play for fouls in that situation. To me, that seems like a dangerous game. It also feels to me like something which, if I was a manager, I'd be furious about. If you're the last defender, defend. But yeah, the decision goes away. I'm not saying the Dauphin was trying to do that, by the way. I think he slipped. He just slipped. But that's why it wasn't a foul. Soon afterwards, Wrexham refresh. I think it's probably time to, in all honesty, because it's a physically grinding game. Rodriguez comes off. I think that might be with an eye on Tuesday, bearing in mind obviously that in Stephen Fletcher we have a player we really want to bring off the bench. He's so effective, so you might as well give Rodriguez a bit of a rest. And then also Elliot Lee comes off, and James McLean comes back, first match since his injury, going into a central midfield slot, the left-hand side of the three where Elliot Lee was. And that was a smart move, I think, simply because in a physical game like that, having McLean's presence in there centrally was useful. It's Rotherham who control the rest of the game, putting us under a lot of pressure, but we defend well. We need Okonkwo, though, with about 20 minutes left. Powell ripping in a corner, which makes its way across the goal. Okonkwo is being pinned by Nombe, and the ball drops at the far post. It's a crowd, but Mpanza manages to get there and hits a shot from, about 3 yards outside the post, but very close end. He strikes it well too. Okonkwo has done very well to get away from Nombe and make himself really big, hurl himself at Mpanza. It makes a massive, massive save because the ball actually doesn't hit his chest. The strike evades the onrushing Okonkwo. But he's done that big handball goalkeeper gesture, the starfish, and the ball strikes his left hand, his outstretched left hand. And when his hand's outstretched, it's very outstretched, isn't it? And ricochets to safety, a huge save by him, which, within a minute, we're under pressure once more. Wilkes does really well receiving the ball in the left channel in the box. He tries to turn around the corner. It ricochets off the defender back to him. He holds it up well, rolls it in. He's looking for Mpanza to hit it on the edge of the D. George Evans has come on now for Ollie Rathbone. And for me, it's a foul. Mpanza doesn't intend to, but he looks to hit a shot, slips as he's about to, and clatters into Evans and takes Evans out. For me, that's a foul, isn't it? Evans makes the interception otherwise. But the ball rolls through instead to McWilliams, and he drills a powerful on-target shot. Great block by O'Connor, who lunges and manages to block it on the 6-yard line. Rathbone, by the way, going off injured is a bit of a worry. I'll get to that later on when we talk about individual performances. Wrexham have some threat. Okonkwo with another good kick. Smith latching onto it after it was flicked on by Fletcher. Tight angle in the right channel, and he hits it. And it goes across the face of goal and wide of the target. Fletcher chasing after it. He just can't get there at a point where he'd be able to make a chance out of it. And so we have to dig in and make sure that we don't let Rotherham back into the game. And we do so pretty successfully. Jack Marriott comes on to replace Smith with 4 minutes left. And the only moment of danger comes in the 4th minute of added time. I say the only moment of danger, it's a heck of a chance to nick a point. Reece James now, Matty James's brother, taking the corner on the left hand side, rips it to the far post, and substitute Holmes has come on. Free header beyond the far post, about 8 yards out. He makes powerful contact with it, putting it back across goal, and it goes just wide. A bit of a let off for us that didn't go in. But to be fair, like I said, Rotherham had a lot of pressure on us, and we defended extremely well. Okay, Okonkwo had to make 2 good saves, but that's why you have a goalkeeper. And Okonkwo and his defence, I thought, did extremely well. Let's have a look at the performances. There were a number of highly impressive performances, I've got to say, in the game, which, like I said, wasn't pretty, but it's a big win against a team that was well set up. First of those fine performances, Okonkwo in goal. Massive saves. Good goal kick as well. People have been looking at his distribution. Well, it was a great goal kick for Rodriguez to head on for the goal, and he set another chance up with a good kick. But yeah, Okonkwo in his prime, great work by him, and a very good 3rd consecutive clean sheet. As I said earlier, the centre backs were very, very good. Cleworth and O'Connor were good. O'Connor made some good blocks as well. The star of the back three was Owen O'Connell, the captain, who on another day would be a comfortable man of the match because he was just winning everything. He was so dominant. Whether John Clark Harris, Rotherham centre forward, had taken a knock or not early on, I'm not sure, but he's a very high quality striker who, of course, Wrexham were chasing last summer. O'Connell completely controlled him. He got nothing out of O'Connell, and he was subbed off halfway through the second half because he was making no inroads whatsoever. The Wrexham skipper, terrific, really was. Wing-backs, Longman started extremely brightly and got through the whole 90 minutes, notwithstanding a knock that he took near the end. Was able to get maybe not as much into the box as he would have liked, but it was always an element of hope with him when the ball was going down that right. He was a good outlet, like I said, especially in the first half. Revan had a really good all-round game, I thought, defended very well, got forwards, I would say less potently than Longman, but still did pose a threat going down the left. In the centre of midfield, again, some very good performances. Matty James, excellent anchoring at midfield, getting a foot in and using the ball intelligently. My word, if that shot had gone in, that would have been an utter screamer, I tell you. So really, that's what we brought him in for. In a tough game like that, he can handle himself, he can break things up, he can try and bring some control to the game with his calm passing under pressure. Very high quality. Rathbone was Rathbone, as always. Maybe he's had more influence in some games than this one, but against his old team, typical work rates. The worry was that he came off injured. Let's hope he felt something and came off in time. Basically, a player ran at him, and as Rathbone changed from his weight from one foot to the other to try and get across and cover, he clearly felt something and was limping afterwards. Soon afterwards, he came off. So let's hope that he felt something begin to go and realised he needs to get off the pitch and it's nothing too serious, because he's vital for us. Elliot Lee started, of course, on the left side in the midfield three. First time he started a game since his accident. And he had some good moments. He didn't feel like he was quite up to the pace of the match sometimes, which is understandable, especially a game like that. That was not his type of game where, there really is very little room for manoeuvre, very little space. But as ever, he was diligent in doing his work off the ball, and it was good for him, I think, to get that much time into his legs after his injury. Up front, right, this combination continues to please me and continues to improve, I think. Rodriguez, I really enjoy watching Rodriguez, the way he picks up positions, and because Rotherham are denying us space so much when we had the ball, his ability to make himself available was crucial for us to continue getting moves going and getting at Rotherham, and he was constantly on the move, constantly the link between the midfield and Smith and the wing backs, and I thought it was very intelligent in the way that he did that. He also won a lot of headers, including the assist for the goal. I was really pleased with Rodriguez. And then alongside him, the birthday man, Sam Smith. And like I said, there were a lot of man of the match potential performances, but Smith's a man of the match. I mean, he was outstanding, I thought. He just occupied those centre-backs constantly. He never had a moment's rest. He works so hard. He'll run the channels. He'll fight for the ball. He's preternaturally good at holding the ball up with a defender behind him. And his finish was delicious. He was a constant threat. It's just, you just feel like even if you're not creating much with him up front, you've got a goal threat anyway. Very, very impressed with Smith, player of the match, on his birthday, and he scored. Bless him. Where players making an impact off the bench as well. Fletcher was lively up front. Marriott was useful too. He didn't have that long to play, but he was chasing well. Fletcher was holding the ball up really well too, and in a game where we were needing to hold the ball up, I was a waste time or to take pressure off our defence. He was obviously a good player to bring on. George Evans did well when he came on as well, although it was pretty much in a defensive capacity really, as that was the nature of the game then. Likewise, McLean, who, like I said, his physical attributes are useful in that sort of situation, aren't they? But goodness me, especially as the game really wore on and we were starting to dig in our own half, as you can imagine, right up his alley. He was winning challenges, the crowd were loving it, lunging in, winning the ball, stopping attacks. The crowd genuinely appreciated a game in which McLean, back on the pitch after injury, was able to really play to his strengths. So an excellent win for Wrexham, an excellent result, and 2 more tough games coming up. Let's hope Rathbone's not as bad as it could be, because we're losing midfielders hand over fist at the moment, but that was a pleasing victory, puts us in a very nice position going into this enormous, trio of games really, with Stockport on the Saturday after. Let's see how we can do it, but we're certainly in the habit of grinding out results, keeping clean sheets, and putting pressure on other sides around us in the table, aren't we? With a final score of Wrexham 1, Rotherham United 0. I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.